Hey guys, so it has been a while since I last time played with the Dancing Dervish build and I just wanted to revisit it, but correct me if I'm wrong, I think Dancing Dervish as a minion build was never great for bossing, but it is pretty decent, I would say pretty even great for mapping because it's very fast and you've got two pretty much immortal minions. So I wanted to revisit that, and this is kind of experimental thing. This is Occultist, but I'm not going for the Chaos, not going for the Poison, because the Poison Jewel is expensive, and also not going for the Cold. So this is Crit Impale Dancing Dervish. The good thing is that you don't really need expensive items. However, just like all the minion builds, it does lack sockets. You're not gonna have enough sockets for everything. I do not have enough sockets for Spectres or Animate Guardian, and even if I did, I would have to invest more into minion tankiness because, like I said, this is crit and using Ancient Skull helmet. So the Ancient Skull makes Dancing Dervish even clunkier in some cases because Dancing Dervish, okay, let's start from the beginning. The Dancing Dervish weapon, once you trigger a rampage, you summon 2 Dancing Dervishes, which disable your weapon. You cannot swap anything, you essentially running with the unarmed, which is usually used for the hollow palm technique build because it's just a free onslaught. During rampage you get onslaught, and I believe you get more and more attack or just movement speed with more rampage stacks. Now the thing is, you can hit with this weapon with melee hits and it will count as rampage kills, which was made like a couple weeks ago, so it's much easier to proc it against the bosses. So normally you just use like a Cyclone or a Blade Storm and then hit couple times. I believe you only need 15 hits to proc the rampage, and then those dervishes just going to maintain that rampage themselves. You won't need to do anything else. However, rampage doesn't last very long. If they do not have any more targets, you kind of need to maintain them with the Writhing jar, which may not be a big problem. You can carry 1, 2 or even 3. However, like for bossing, it's just not going to be pleasant. There are many bosses that have long phases, so you're going to have to manage that properly, and in Sanctum it's very annoying when you need to trigger it because there aren't that many monsters. When there are many monsters in maps, it's very easy. Throw one Blade Storm even at a distance and it's done. But in Sanctum it's like really annoying. And also another thing now, the Ancient Skull makes your minions like ultra aggressive, I guess. They do not listen to you, and even Convocation does not convocate them back. When we crit, we hear whispers for 5 seconds. Minions which hear the whispers take 20% of their maximum life as chaos damage per second, have 50% increased attack speed and damage, and do not listen to you. That 50% increased attack speed is massive. Dancing Dervishes, I believe, have like 99% reduced damage taken, so they are pretty much immortal. But I did get chaos resistance, so this take 20% of their maximum life as chaos damage is pretty much invisible. I do have leech for them, so they're never gonna die. Nothing is gonna kill them. But like I said, one of the biggest drawbacks is that when you find allies cannot die totems and then they just lock onto monsters without reaching that totem, they will never move anywhere. They will try to continuously kill the same monster that we targeted. You cannot convocate them, you cannot use Predator's Mark to target them, they do not listen to you when they crit. So your only option is run away far enough so that we get rubber banded back to you. And then we just choose a different target, and hopefully that we choose or somehow clip the totem with the allies cannot die. And if you are locked somewhere in a small area and there's not enough space for you to move to rubber band them back to you, there's nothing you can do. You are literally just stuck watching minions spin and trying to kill enemies that we cannot kill, and the allies cannot die totem just laughing from you. Dancing Dervish has a lot of gimmicks and not really gimmicks, drawbacks like that, so it's never really gonna be great for bossing and for mapping. This is probably not ideal version, but I figured I still gonna show you this build result and how I made this. It can farm tier 14, tier 16 maps, can deal with guardians, but it's really not ideal. You kind of need to play safe. And by the way, defenses of this build are also not great. The damage is barely over 2 million DPS with both of them combined. And the defenses for this build is mostly just don't get hit and temporal chain with blasphemy. So it's easier to not get hit. And I actually had more damage in the first version, but just don't get hit doesn't work when you actually get hit and when you cannot not get hit, essentially. So I actually had to incorporate Grace, so I do have some evasion, and the minions apply blind and taunt, and the temporal chain with blasphemy I think is pretty nice, but also has skitterbots to chill enemies, but I had to drop them. So I'm not slowing enemies down as much as I could, just because, well, I need some defenses. You cannot just rely on purely just don't get hit. I am using Corrupted Soul, so I split the damage taken between life and energy shield. And because this is Occultist, I do have some ES sustain through the flat region and percentage region, especially while clearing. This isn't like a proper build guide. I wouldn't probably recommend this. It's a bit squishy and it's fun, but it's a bit sketchy, and there are better builds that can move fast and do things like this. However, I also found another interesting thing that I'm gonna try to incorporate more often in other builds for minions: Intuitive Link. And yes, I did die because I accidentally linked to the wrong minion, and I linked to the golem, and then the golem immediately decided that now it's a good time to start taking a lot of damage and just died. Or another thing, I accidentally linked to golem and then resummoned the golem because I misclicked, and then I just immediately die. So yes, Intuitive Link is dangerous to use, especially when you have many minions, but when you have only 3 minions, it's not as dangerous as you may think. And it works so well because I've got 4 things that need to be triggered. I have Vulnerability, I have Desecrate, and then Spirit Offering, and then Assassin's Mark. I just click Intuitive Link and I don't need to worry about clicking those 4 buttons. You can do that with like Cyclone, Casual Channeling. I tried that, but the mana drain is just so high, and if you drain the mana and can't even Cyclone, then you can't even proc your dervishes. So that's kind of a problem. That's why I dropped the Cyclone and Casual Channeling and just use Bladestorm. Alt Quality Bladestorm allows me, gives 40% chance to choose a wrong stance essentially, because by default I am in blood stance and I have no way of switching the stance to sand stance, because in the sand stance you throw the blade vortex, or not the blade vortex, the blade storm to fly towards enemies, which adds more safety. And I am using Convocation even if it doesn't really do anything, but I am using Convocation because I got conditional things. Minions deal increased damage if you have used a minion skill recently. If you trigger a minion skill recently, that will not enable this modifier, so you still need to manually cast something that is a minion tag. Convocation is a minion tag, so I just use Convocation. To add more defenses, also added Steel Skin on left click, otherwise I would be using Maim for the Karen Golem. By the way, to avoid Karen Golem from proccing crits completely, you need Anomalous Control Destruction. With that, we have 100% less critical strike chance. They will never crit. If you would want Animate Guardian or Spectres, you would also have to link it to Anomalous Control Destruction. Otherwise, we're gonna crit and start degening life. I got into Anomalous Intuitive Link, keep it at level 1, and Anomalous because 5% reduced mana cost. So it does drain mana per second, and that's why you want to keep it at level 1. And increasing the level of it only increases the base duration, and you don't want base duration because you just want Intuitive Link to trigger all the things and then just expire. And in general, you don't want it to last very long because it just puts more risk on you. If the minion that you link to dies, you die. If the link is broken, it doesn't matter. It only kills you if the minion linked to it dies. So Intuitive Link is linked to, and the order does matter. You want Desecrate to go before Spirit Offering, like from top, following the links. So Desecrate and then Spirit Offering, and then I also got Vulnerability and then Assassin's Mark. And then the Phantasmal Bladestorm does not need to be linked. Like I said, I had a 6 link now. The boots, you're gonna want Brittle Ground boots. Brittle Ground, by the way, will give 2% base critical strike chance. The Darkness and Throat belt is pretty important for this. Actually, for I guess all the minion builds. You can get a lot of damage out of this by getting a jewel like this, but you're also gonna want a jewel like this. With this jewel, I fixed my minion accuracy. Otherwise, they would not have 100% hit chance. They still just barely go over 3000 accuracy, which is the bare minimum that you need to reach 100% hit chance. You want minion movement speed, which is very nice. Minion attack speed is nice. Minion damage is nice, of course, and then life resistances wherever you can fill them. Minus mana cost is also pretty nice because, like, Convocation costs no mana, and when you use Intuitive Link, it will pretty much immediately drain all of the mana, so you cannot really spam it. And during that time, you're not gonna have even mana to cast Flame Dash, so careful when you use it. Now, by the way, the Dancing Dervish does not need to be linked, just need 6 sockets. And it is using increased critical damage support, Impale, increased critical strike chance, melee physical damage, minion damage, because the loss of life does not matter, they are just pretty much immortal. They are not technically immortal, but they are unkillable essentially. And pulverize, previously I was using brutality, and actually I was using brutality until some of my viewers noticed that I was using brutality and playing with the occultist explosions, which I thought that the occultist explosions still count as occultist explosions and not the minion explosions if the minion gets the kill, but turns out that if the minion gets the kill and procs the occultist explosions, then it is like a minion damage, and that means brutality disables chaos and elemental damage, and those explosions were doing no damage. Enemies were exploding, but the clear speed wasn't great, so don't use brutality if you're doing this. So I switched to Pulverize, which is more AoE but less attack speed, which isn't ideal, but it is pretty good support. For the passive 3, Occultist, if you're not going cold or chaos, isn't ideal, but also because this helmet gives minions have 50% increased critical strike chance per maximum power charge you have. It doesn't check if you have power charges, it just checks your maximum power charges. So it does have some synergy with Occultist as well. You get maximum power charge, so your minions get an extra 50% critical strike chance. Obviously Profane Bloom, Unholy Authority, and I still had to travel towards the Whisper of Doom because I need vulnerability is big, Assassin's Mark is very big as well, and then I wanted Blasphemy with Temp Chain, so I needed 3 curses. So I had to travel here, otherwise probably would be not even traveling here and sticking to the left. You do need Rotten Claw node on the large cluster jewel somewhere. Also using Sublime Form for the Grace Reservation, which also gives all elemental resistances. And then Surging Vitality for a bit more extra like life sustain. I don't have life regen, I don't really leech, I don't leech, I don't have life regen, so, and I don't have room for like Enduring Cry. So it's pretty annoying to sustain all the life just by clicking flash. You're gonna want minion overwhelm, and that's pretty much all the overwhelm that you can get on minions. But you're also gonna want to take this Grave Intentions to give minions chaos resistance unless you get them elsewhere. You're also gonna want minion defense mastery, for the link skills can target damageable minions if you're using link, otherwise you don't need the mastery. Like I said, going with the Glorious Vanity, Doryani to get Corrupted Soul here. Search for something that gives minion damage or life for you or something else. So in PUB, like you can see, it does not have a lot of DPS. It's 1 million DPS per Dancing Dervish, and we do have 73 critical strike chance, and that is with enemies on the brittle ground. So yeah, defense is not great, the damage is not great. It is fast, and I would say it is fun, but it's not for everyone. Anyway, the video is already too long. I may rework this build into like a spellcaster, but still using Dancing Dervish. I really like this idea of using Intuitive Link, and I'm gonna try to plan a build with that. But I already kind of started another build project, which is gonna be Stun Flicker Strike. So if you don't want to miss those kind of weird projects, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.